City leaders are showing their support for immigrants this morning. It's all part of Champaign County's Welcoming Week. WCIA 3's Jen Lask is live in Urbana now. Jen, what is the message the mayor wants to send?
Mayor Marlin is hosting a coffee and conversation today in city council chambers, and the goal is to make immigrants feel safe, welcome, and valued. The University YMCA is organizing events throughout the week in Champaign County for Welcoming Week. It's a nationwide celebration that brings together immigrants and U.S.-born residents. Champaign County is home to people from more than 70 countries around the world, and nearly 24,000 immigrants call it home.
The majority of those people actually aren't associated with the university, and so that's usually really surprising to people. When I talk to individuals, they're like, oh, it's just because the University of Illinois is there, that's why it's so diverse, but that's not actually the case. But I think that maybe having the university here does make the community in general more welcoming. And then I think it's also just something that has been worked on for a long time.
Programs throughout the week range from fun activities to workshops and clinics on legal issues and advocacy. Today's coffee event will run from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. and other events are on our website, WCIA.com. Reporting live in Urbana, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Some of our communities farther south and to the east, they are right now dealing with more of that fog this morning. Now, those of us farther north, we're seeing most of it, but even into Livingston County, there is some lowered visibility even there with some of the fog. But looks like many of us will start off without any dense fog at all. Yeah, visibility is down to about 4 or 5, but generally that's going to be okay as far as a drive that you're going to make here throughout the morning and into your commute. And speaking of your commute, here's a look at how we are expecting that to go for you. We expect to start out this morning with more of the mild conditions, temperatures more so in the lower 60s. We'll have winds out of the east this morning around 5 to 10 by the afternoon, coming out of the southeast, which will help us back into more of mid and perhaps a few isolated upper 80s. For the bus stop forecast, kids will head out the door, maybe a little cool, maybe a light jacket or sweater needed, but 62 to head off to school. By the time they're heading home, won't need that jacket or sweater at all. They will be able to shed it in. We're going to be back up around that 83 to 84 degree mark with mostly sunny skies expected by then. Still looking pretty clear to start off this morning, and there's a good amount of sunshine on your Roofing Algonquin Gibson Area Hospital weather camera. Lower 60s for most of us, and it looks like that's where we're going to start out early tomorrow morning too, where it looks like probably more of the clear skies as high pressure will be in control. Not a whole lot really happening for us today. Shower and storm activity will stay well off to the north and to the west, but here comes more of it into the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in your 7-day forecast in just about 5 minutes. Aaron?
Thanks, Adam. Parents are putting the Champaign School District under fire, saying they didn't do enough to prevent a 10-year-old from getting hurt. Her family says the 5th grader was attacked in the bathroom on Monday. District leaders have a different explanation of what happened. People crowded into a PTA meeting last night with questions that largely went unanswered. They're calling what happened play fighting between 6 students in a bathroom. They said they didn't find a weapon or any reason to believe another student was the one who caused the injury. Some of those pictures were too graphic to show without blurring them. Family members say the wound was as deep as 8.5 inches. She had to have 15 stitches, and now she's afraid to go back to school. Her aunt believes the school is trying to cover it up.
We just want justice, you know. We want to know what happened, and we want to know why were there not enough adults present to take action before it got this far.
Police are still investigating what happened. At last night's meeting, the district said it was open to creating a task force to address issues that stemmed from this incident. Counselors and crisis staff will be at Dr. Howard today. This meeting was planned several months ago to address safety procedures in general. A Champaign man is accused of sexually assaulting a child. 49-year-old Norman Person Sr. is charged with predatory criminal sexual assault. The victim is under 13 years old and told authorities the assault started after April 2018. Person Sr. was also accused of sexually assaulting a child in Coles County back in 2010. That case was dismissed after the victim and a witness died the day of the trial in a car crash. We have new details on a shooting that happened in Urbana on Monday. Police are still looking for the person who shot a teenager. It happened outside the Cottage Grove Apartments. The 15-year-old boy was shot in the arm. He was taken to the hospital. Officers are still investigating. A retired Decatur police officer died last night. Tom Butts was in need of a new kidney. He had a match, but it fell through at the last minute. Butts' wife, Sarah Cush Butts, posted to Facebook saying, quote, "He had fought a gallant fight to gain back his health. It simply wasn't meant to be." New this morning, after a woman was charged with DUI for driving off an unfinished bridge in Champaign, the intersection leading up to it will be closed for construction starting today. It happened 2 weeks ago. Aisha Marshall drove off the Bradley Avenue Bridge and landed near I-57. 2 passengers were in the car. They all went to the hospital. The state's attorney's office says this is still an active investigation. IDOT says the Bluegrass Lane in the intersection will be closed for the next 2 weeks. Crews will be installing new storm sewers, curbs, and pavement. IDOT wants to remind you to pay close attention to work zone signs. The village of Atwood is back on track after a fiery resignation from the village president and 2 other trustees. This past week, village employees were not paid and village business came to a halt. But that all came to an end last night when the village board reached quorum and started planning for their new era. People are now breathing a sigh of relief.
Some of the people that we have talked to and everything else are willing to step forward and do the best they can and work with us and everything, so I think it'll be great.
A new acting mayor was appointed along with a new trustee, bringing the village board up to 5 out of 7. If you owe back taxes, you're about to get a free pass. The state's Department of Revenue is preparing to offer a 6-week window for you to pay your back taxes. The state will waive any added fees or interest penalties. It starts October 1st. It's available for people who owe taxes from 2011 to last year. The relief does not apply to property taxes. The governor's budget office hopes the plan could haul in an extra $175 million. We have an update on the water warning in Assumption now. The city has been given the all clear from the EPA and the water system is back up and running. We told you last week that testing of the water showed an unsafe amount of nitrate. Children under 6 months old were told not to drink it. Tests this week show the levels have gone back to a safe one. City officials say they will continue to flush hydrants to bring the levels down even further. Downtown Champaign just welcomed another piece of artwork. It's called The Feather. It was created by an artist from Maryland. The piece stands 10 feet tall and is installed in the concrete planter at the roundabout on Main and Chestnut Streets near the old train station building.